Hey everyone, happy Friday to those of you just joining us, and welcome back to those who were on the first session. Welcome to today's session 2 of the HVAC Digital Marketing Bootcamp, SEO Made Simple, How to Rank on Google. For those of you that do not know, I am Michelle, and Steve is also here with me, and he will be helping us out by answering any of your questions throughout the bootcamp. In case you're not familiar with Surefire, for those of you just joining, we are located in Northern Virginia, and we help small businesses drive visibility through all channels on the web so they can continue to grow their business with ease. Our mission here is to educate businesses in the HVAC space on a variety of topics to help you succeed and help the industry grow. We want to know who you are, so let us know where you're joining us from today, which you can locate in the question box, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. And a quick few reminders before I pass it on over to Brad. You'll get the recording of this bootcamp on Monday of next week. And like I mentioned, you can ask us questions, make comments, etc. in the question box, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you stay on to the end, to the last bootcamp session, we'll be giving away our Google Smart Speaker to one lucky attendee. So today we have another one of our very own digital marketing strategists, Brad Simonis. He's got a lot of really good information to share with you all. So with that, I am going to pass it on over to Brad. Brad, take it away.
Sorry about that. I had my microphone muted. My name is Brad Simonis. I am a digital marketing specialist here at Surefire Local. I've also been doing HVAC website search engine optimization for the last 5 or 6 years, so have a lot of experience in the HVAC vertical, and hopefully I can impart some knowledge and be of some help to you as you venture down this road to optimize your website for the search engines. Oops, sorry about that. Learning the buttons here. So today's discussion, we're going to do an SEO overview, a little bit of historical and trends towards the future of search engine optimization. And then we're going to take a look at some specific action steps that you can take for your on-page optimization, your off-page optimization, your technical optimization, and I'll go through and explain what all of that means. And then Google has some nice tools on analysis and feedback for your search engine optimization efforts. So we'll take a quick look at those and finish up with any questions and answers. So let's get started with the SEO overview. I'm having trouble with my mouse getting the slides up here. Okay, here we go. So today's search choices on search engines has grown quite a bit. Of course, there's desktops and laptops, but now we're seeing more tablets. We're seeing that smartphones are really starting to dominate the search landscape. And now there's even voice activated devices like the Alexa and the Google Home. And we've got to be ready for that and on top of these trends as they come along. And of course, the destinations for those searches are growing all the time too. So in addition to just search engines, we've got the review sites, which are a very popular search destination. There's a myriad of directory listings, there's social media sites, and of course, the map applications. Before we get started, we have to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and that is Google. We're going to talk a lot about Google, and we'll kind of use Google interchangeably with search engines because most of our focus is on Google. And there's a good reason for that, and that is because Google is 80% of the search market. So they dominate both desktop and mobile search by a long shot. So our focus is mainly going to be on Google today, and I would recommend that your focus be on Google today as well. So let's define search engine optimization. Basically, what we're talking about is making your website an authority on the topic being searched, so you rank higher in the free or organic, as we call it, search results on the search engines. Now, authority signals are everything from the age of the domain to the amount of relevant content to the freshness of that content, to backlinks in the site, amount of traffic to the site, user behavior on the site. There's a whole slew of authority signals, and we're going to refer back to that as we go through the presentation today. But keep that term in mind that you want to be the authority on the topic that's being searched. Now, search has evolved over the years. When I first started getting involved in websites and search engines, and some of you probably remember these days of early websites rather, and the way we optimized our websites was through keywords, and I hate to say it, but keyword stuffing. We put the keywords all over the website in the meta tags, in the content. We would overstuff it with keywords, and that worked for a little while. And then Google, as more and more websites came online, Google realized that they weren't getting the accuracy of the search results that they wanted, and so they started focusing more on the content of the site as a factor in search results. And now today, everything has gone towards local and towards mobile search, and that involves recency and relevancy, proximity, and prominence. And we'll talk about those as well. But as I mentioned, in looking at the mobile and local search trends, in this survey here from business2community.com, we see that 46% of all searches on Google are in fact local intent. So people are using them to find local resources such as HVAC services. Also in the survey, it was revealed that 89% of participants admitted to searching for a local business on their smartphone once a week or more, with 58% searching at least daily. So those are some pretty phenomenal numbers, some pretty strong numbers, and it points to the fact that we've got to really be ready for the optimized search on mobile. So the search signals that influence that mobile local search are proximity, which makes sense. The closer you are to the person doing the search, the more likely you're going to come up in those search results. Relevancy is always important, how relevant your content is to the search query. The prominence of your site, which goes back to the size of your digital footprint and your authority on the web. And then one of the newer factors is recency, which talks about how recent and fresh your content is. So Google is trying to avoid putting up search results that are 2 or 3 years old. They want to see fresh search results. So that's where fresh content on your site and in the form of blog posts can be very helpful and something to keep in mind. This is a pie graph from Moz.com. If you're not familiar with Moz, they're a great resource for you, and I would recommend checking out Moz.com. What this is a pie graph of the factors that play into local search results. Since the Google algorithm is a top secret, obviously, but since nobody really knows what makes it up, what they did is they surveyed a lot of SEO experts and asked their opinion, what were the factors that resulted in positive results for searching in local business. And number one of those factors is the Google My Business page for your site. And I think if you were around earlier, Amanda went through Google My Business, and I'm not going to spend much time on it, but that's the number one factor in your search results is your Google My Business page. And that's followed by citations, which we're going to talk about today, on-page optimization, which we'll talk about. Backlinks to the site are equally almost as important as Google My Business at 17%. The reviews we're going to talk about, everything on this chart we're going to talk about today, but social, behavioral, and personalization. Personalization refers to the fact that no two searchers are the same, and they have a history of search, they have the location that they're at. There's a lot of personalization factors that play into what search results Google is going to show you. So what we're looking at here is a typical search engine results page, or a SERP as we like to call them. I'm sure this is familiar to you. At the top of the page, we have Google Ads. These are the pay-per-click ads that are on all the search engine results pages. Below that is the local pack. And this is where the local results show up in this little map section. And usually I see 3, but today here we're seeing 2 different results. And then the organic search results down below. So these are the free results that we were talking about earlier for when your site is optimized properly and shows up down here below the local map pack, because maybe you don't meet all the criteria to be in the local map pack. I do want to point out, and one of the trends that I'm seeing is that under the organic listing, you'll start to notice that there's a lot of business directories taking up some of the critical space here. And that's simply because they have a lot of backlinks, they have a lot of authority, they have a lot of content, they add a lot of value in Google's eyes. But what that also means is they're kind of squeezing us out of individual websites down here in the organic, making it more difficult to show up in the local organic section down here at the bottom. Nonetheless, your goal should be to build a website and a digital marketing strategy that ranks for all three of these web sections. So ideally, you want to be covered in paid search, in your local pack, and in your organic search engine optimization. Now, recently, Google threw us a curveball, and this may not have come to your market yet, but this is in some of the major markets. And if you do a search for HVAC services, you might see the local service ads that have popped up, and this is another Google advertising product. Mitch is going to be talking about this a little bit later this afternoon, so I won't go into too much detail on that, but it's kind of convoluted the search result page even more. So we have local service ads, which are actually pay-per-lead ads instead of pay-per-click ads. Then we have the pay-per-click ads down below that. Then we have the local pack, and then finally the organic listings at the bottom. So maybe you say that your goal really is to build a website and a digital marketing strategy that ranks for all four of these sections, assuming this section is in your market, and if it's not, it may be coming soon. So keep an eye out for that. I want to just give you a demonstration of a HVAC business that's actually doing just that, is showing up in all the four different areas. In this search engine results page, they do offer the local service ads, and this business is registered with Google as a Google guaranteed business. Again, Mitch will go into more details on how to accomplish that. They do PPC, but for whatever reason, there isn't any pay-per-click on this particular search engine results page, but they have that base covered. They're number one in the local search pack, and they're down here in the organic listings. So it is possible to own all these different areas, and that should be our ultimate goal. So let's talk a little bit about how we're going to do this. And like I mentioned in the opening, we're going to break it down into the on-page search engine optimization, the off-page search engine optimization, and the technical optimization. And then, like I said, we'll talk a little bit about the tools available for some of that. But I want to start with the on-page search engine optimization and basically defining what on-page SEO is the act of optimizing the different parts of your website that affect your search engine rankings. So it's what you have control over and what you can change on your own website. So this is a key component of what we're here to talk about today, is what can I do on my website to help my search engine results. Those factors include internal links on your site, the keywords you're using on your site, the meta descriptions on your site, your header tags, your title tags, the content on the site, as I mentioned, and the relevancy and the relationship of the content to the query. And then alt tags, which go with the images that describe the image behind the image in a text format. So let me just jump to a screen of a regular web page, and we'll kind of go through these different factors here. So I grabbed this web page here. I apologize, this page is a little convoluted and complicated, but these are the various elements of a web page that impact your search engine optimization and the elements that you need to be thinking about. And I start with the title tag. The title tag is that little tag at the very top of your search engine on the tab itself of the page you're on. And that title tag should have a descriptive keyword or keyword phrase. It should have a geo tag with it so we know what area this site is in, and then have a company name. My preference is to have the title tag in that order. Not everybody agrees with that, but I definitely like the keyword up front with the geo tag and the company name coming last, because Google's going to know the company name. They want to know what you're all about or what this page is all about. Down below is the H1 header. This is your main header. They call it an H1 tag or H1 header. This should also have descriptive keyword phrase with a geo tag. So we see here professional air conditioning services in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're getting keywords, we're getting geo tags in that H1 header. Below that is an image. Behind the image would be an alt tag. That alt tag should also be a keyword that has to do with the topic of the page. You then scroll down further, there'll be most likely a secondary header or what they call an H2 tag. And that H2 tag likewise should have a descriptive keyword in it. This one in particular isn't a great example. It should maybe say something like quick introduction to our HVAC company or something like along those lines. So there's some keyword in there. The content itself, we're gonna see a little bit of the keyword in here. We're not gonna pack keywords into the content. We're going to focus on writing relevant content about what that service is about and let Google decide that that's what that service is about. And we've got internal links that we will put in, and the internal links will be shortcuts to other pages on the site, and Google likes to see that, so people that are tracking down information can take a shortcut to what they're trying to search for. The last item I called out here is not really an SEO item. It's just a personal opinion that you need a call to action, and you need that call to action to be above the fold on the site before you scroll down. People often come to the websites looking for contact information, and we don't want them to have to look too hard, go to the contact page, or go too far. So typically we have a phone number in the header. I'm sure everybody does, but a little contact form as well. Promoting a free estimate is a good idea. So now I'd like to move over to off-page search engine optimization. And off-page search engine optimization, we're going to define as focusing on increasing the authority of your domain through the act of getting links from other websites, citations, social media, and review sites. So it's kind of all the things that aren't on your website, but that point towards your website. And we want to spend some time focusing on that. Probably the most important thing is the link building, which is the process of getting external website pages to link to a page on your website. This is one of the more popular tactics used in search engine optimization. But the reason is by building external links to your website, you're trying to gather as many votes, if you will, as you can, that in turn result in higher authority for your site. So we're trying to build the authority of our site by using other sites that link to us to show that we must be an expert on that particular keyword. So that's one great way to do that. Citations are listings of your site on the website, and typically they're in a directory format quite often. So you might think of citations as directories, but when we're working on our off-page SEO, and this is a time-consuming step here, but we want to register our website with as many directories as we can find online. And this is just a small snapshot of some of the more popular directories. But if you do a search for an HVAC service, let's say, and you start drilling down page after page after page in the results, you'll come across all kinds of obscure directories, and you want to claim those directories. And you want to fill out as much information about your business as you can on each one of these directories. So business hours and types of payments accepted and all that good stuff. And then most importantly, and I really want you to take this away today, is make sure your name, address, and phone number is consistent across all those directories. We call that NAP or NAP, Your name, address, and phone number for your business is something like your social security ID for your business. So Google wants to know that it's got the right business. It's got to have the consistent name, address, and phone number. And I would say even down to the finest detail, if you have a Northwest in your address, in your street address, and you abbreviated NW, make sure you abbreviated NW in everything that you do online. If you spell street ST period, make sure you spell it ST period on everything you do online, because Google can get that picky, and we want to be very consistent with that. So these citation sites will create backlinks for you, which is excellent to have, and it also expands your online footprint on expanding your digital presence online. And oftentimes, of course, includes reviews as well. Social media marketing, I probably don't need to talk about too much. Everybody's doing some level of social media marketing, I hope. But you want to create accounts for all your major social media platforms, but especially for Google, Facebook, and Twitter. And you want to post to those platforms 1 or 2 times a week with some fresh content. And I also recommend pictures, even short little video clips. But keeping that fresh is going to pay off. That's definitely a factor in the search engine optimization. So you'll want to be doing that. And of course, you'll have a link from your website to those social media pages. And I made a little note at the bottom. There's some confusion around Google Plus. It's sort of being phased out by Google. It doesn't hurt to have a Google Plus account or a link to your Google Plus or to post to your Google Plus. But now, since they've started adding posting to Google My Business, and Google My Business seems to be kind of, I don't know if taking over is the right word, but Google My Business is kind of the new Google Plus. So I would make sure you have a Google My Business link on my website as well. And then the biggie is the review sites. You want to make sure you have claimed all your review sites, and you are, 1, actively soliciting reviews, 2, you're constantly monitoring your reviews, and 3, responding to those reviews as necessary, or in some cases as allowed. Most major review sites allow you to respond to reviews. Some of the minor ones don't, but I see people that respond even to positive reviews, which I think is a neat thing. So if you have a positive review, it's nice to say, hey, thank you for the review. It doesn't have to just be responding to negative reviews. So keep that in mind too. But I do want to just repeat this for emphasis: actively soliciting reviews, monitoring reviews, and responding to reviews. And doing this on a daily basis is essential. But why are reviews so important? Reviews are not only an important factor of search engine optimization, but they're also a very important factor in influencing the purchase decision. So I pulled up a local pack here in a smaller community, and we can see that J&M has 56 reviews with a 4.4 star rating. They even have a little breakout that Google's given them of one of their reviews. Whereas Lay Heating has 2 reviews with a 3.0 star rating, and ICS has no reviews. So if I'm the consumer and I land on this local pack, it's obvious which one I'm going to call first. And that's why it's so important, and it's so tied into the success of your website, that you have these reviews and a good number of good quality reviews on your site. So that should be one of your main focuses. The technical SEO, that's basically anything that we do that's outside of the work of the content on the site and the metadata that we talked about earlier. So this is the aspect of SEO that's focused on how well search engines can crawl your site and index your content. And we want to make sure that we make it easy for search engines to crawl our site and index our content. And we don't want to have errors and blocks and roadblocks and that kind of thing. Some of those technical components would be your domain age, your site map is up on your site, your schema markup is in place, your crawlability and indexing issues are all good. There's no broken links or error pages. Your website performance is good. and especially your website and your mobile site load speeds is very important. So those are all things to look at. And there's a lot of tools you can use to measure that. So real quickly, I pulled up a website here. This is what you see on the front page. And then this is what the search engines see on the back side of the website. And I mentioned this schema markup. This is also very important. It goes back to that NAP that I was talking about, your name, address, and phone number. The schema markup is relatively new in the last year or two. It's Google's preference for how you post your name, address, phone number, and description. And so make sure that you have schema markup for that information on your website. That's critically important. I'm going to finish up by just going through quickly some analyzing data, keeping in mind that search engine optimization takes time, several months at least, to show improvements. So we have to be very patient, and we have to keep working on it and keep working on it every day or every week, and we will see results. But there's some tools to help see those results from Google. And Google offers us Google Analytics and also Google Search Console. And Google Analytics is great for seeing traffic and seeing how your site is performing. Google Search Console is great. It's showing you if you have any technical errors in your site. So like I said, for Google Analytics, the amount of traffic, types and sources of traffic, the location of the traffic, the user behavior, and much more is available on Google Analytics. You're going to need a tracking ID code that you may or may not already have on your site for Google Analytics, so it can track all that traffic to your site. If you don't, when you go to analytics.google.com, just go to the sign up button. It's a couple quick, easy steps to get your tracking ID set up and start tracking your traffic to your site. When you get to the home page of Google Analytics, after you have your tracking ID set up, you're going to see by default your traffic for the last 7 days, and it's going to show you the number of users, the number of sessions those users created, this bounce rate, which is the number of people that only go to your home page and they don't explore further past your site, and then the time they spend on the site, which all of these are factors. This is the user behavior that we're talking about as a factor in your search engine optimization. You have a menu off to your left. I really like to drill down into the acquisition, because under acquisition, under all traffic, and then click on channels, you can see where your traffic is coming to your site. So in a well-optimized site, we should see organic traffic trumping our direct traffic. Direct traffic is people that know your website name and are typing it in directly. Organic traffic is traffic that's coming from search queries. So as you grow your SEO, you're going to watch this line grow over this line. And referrals, social, and others will always be bringing up the rear. The Search Console, like Google says, improves your performance on Google search. Again, it'll help you with actual search terms used, with your page indexing status. Are your pages able to be indexed? Are there crawl errors? And also any important messages that Google has discovered about your site, they're going to put up there. Again, you're going to have your property validated. So you'll just go and type in your URL, and it's a couple steps to get your property listed on Google Search Console. And then there's just all kinds of data in the left-hand menu again, but I pulled up the coverage here. We can see we have 0 pages with errors. That's what we want to see. We've got 78 valid pages that are being indexed. That's what we want to see. There is a performance graph that shows you the total number of clicks, total number of impressions, your click-through rate that people are clicking through to your site, and your average position. And don't get too excited about a 26 average position, because this is all of the keywords that you're being found for, which can be a couple hundred keywords. So you're not going to be in the number 1 or 2 position for all those keywords. So an average position of 26 isn't anything to get excited about there. You want to check your site maps, like I mentioned before, on the technical side of the SEO. We want to make sure our sitemaps are uploaded and being read by Google. So it's going to tell you that as well. And then finally, this is probably one of the neatest things about Google Search Console is it tells you the actual queries that people are using to search for you and how many clicks, how many impressions, and how many clicks. And all of these you can search, you can change the dates, you can change the priority of the query, and just get in there and explore all the things that are in there. I don't have time to go through all the analytics today, but I wanted to just expose you to them. So in my closing, I just want to point out we're talking about building a comprehensive digital footprint as a main objective and building our site authority. Surefire Local offers this tool called the Marketing Cloud. And within the Marketing Cloud, you can manage your Google AdWords. You can manage your directories. You can look at your analytics. You can manage your leads. You can look at your social coming in and how your social sites are doing. You can, most importantly, see your reputation. You can actually see reviews on the Google Marketing Cloud, and you can actually respond to them right through the cloud. You can publish content from there, and everything that has to do with optimizing your website and monitoring that optimization, we've brought into one place for you, so you don't have to bounce around to Google Analytics and to Google Search Console and to all the directory listings and to Google My Business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope I didn't go too fast. I had a lot to cover today, but I am here for questions. So let me know what I can do to answer those questions for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brad. That was a lot of really great information. And we do have some questions. So before we get into those, Steve is about to launch a poll where you can select to have a private one-on-one call with one of our digital marketing experts where, excuse me, where they will be giving you an inside look to the Surefire Local Marketing Cloud and show you 3 to 4 tactics that our customers are using to win online. So let us know if either Tuesday or Thursday of next week works. And if you've already, did the poll in the first session, you can do it again in this one. The poll is now open. So pick a time. If neither of those days work for you, just select, please email me to pick a time, and we will help pick out a time that works best for you. So let's get into some of those questions while everyone is filling out the poll. So we have one here from Kristen. It seems like the local service ads and the PPC AdWords ads compete with each other. Do you see a benefit to doing both, or would that be a waste of money?
There's definitely a benefit to doing both. The local service ads are a pay per lead ad, and I've seen HVAC companies have a lot of success running those ads. But the pay-per-click gives you a lot more flexibility in the keywords that you're choosing, the location of the ads. If you want to get outside of your immediate, home area, you won't be able to do that with local service ads. You're going to be tied into the zip codes of the area that you're based in. So you want to do pay-per-click ads to get out into other zip codes and to promote other services that aren't included. The local service ads have a limited number of services that are actual keywords that will make that ad pop up. So you'll get a lot more flexibility with the pay-per-click ad. We definitely recommend running both. And Mitch is going to go into some details if you can stick around to the top of the hour on that topic.
Yeah, that was a great answer, Brad. And like you mentioned, Mitch is going to be joining us at 2 o'clock, and he'll be talking all about LSAs. Okay, so the next question we have here is from John. How long does it take to see results from my SEO?
To be safe, I would say 6 months. You would like to see some positive trends after 3 months. But before 3 months, you're really not going to see much of anything that you can identify as a positive trend. So we generally say 3 to 6 months, but the more patient you can be and the longer you can go after it, the better your results are going to be and continue to grow. We should think of it as a process. It's ongoing, and there's no end game to it. It should just be continuous.
All right. Thank you, John, for that awesome question. And thank you, Brad, for the great answer. Julie wants to know, how do I know if I've picked the best keywords and phrases to target?
That's where the Google Search Console will be beneficial for you. If you go to the Google Search Console and you go to the queries section, it'll show you how many queries for each keyword there is, and you can determine by choosing, obviously, the more queries for a particular keyword, the more competitive that keyword is. So you don't want to focus 100% on the most popular keywords, but you might want to look for some other keywords that fit your services well that maybe not be quite as popular. But short answer would be the Google Search Console.
All right, the next one we have is from Charlie, and he wants to know, how does seasonality play into this? We're pushing different services depending on what time of year it is. Does that hurt our overall SEO if we're shifting focus a few times throughout the year?
No, what we need to do is make sure that we have separate content silos for the different services. So you have to have a page, at least a page on heating, on air conditioning, on maintenance, on indoor air quality. But I would recommend, if you can, to have a page on heating installation and a page on heating service and a page on heating maintenance plans, because the more you can silo those topics and write content around that, the better you're going to do for each of those services.
All right, great answer. The next one we have here is from Mark. How do you get traffic for specific products nationwide where you do not have an actual location and not just local?
That's kind of beyond the scope of where we're at today. Can't give you a short answer for that. I'm not sure why you would be nationwide in the HVAC industry unless maybe you're some type of wholesaler or something like that. But yeah, I can't really answer that in a quick answer.
All righty, that's okay. So those were all the questions we had. Thank you everyone so much, and we'll be closing up the poll now. And like Brad mentioned, Mitch will be joining us at the top of the hour to go over Google Ads, so we hope you all can join us there, and we will see you in about 19 minutes. Thank you so much all, and thank you, Brad.
Thank you, everybody.